Stop the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
Out of the bunker, Zero Dark 30. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind Show. Folks, we've got something to consider here. The news has been leading us to this. And when I say us, I mean you and me and everyone who's been sending me messages and thinking. Right? This is the great part about social networking is we get to actually talk to each other rather than listen to Dan Blather. Right? And all of these, I know that's an old name, Dan Rather, but Dan Blather, blah, blah, blah. The mainstream media tells us what they want us to believe. They don't tell us facts or truth or research. They don't do any real thinking. Oh, they used to bring on pundits who would give us their theories. Yeah, give me a break. It's all idiotic, steered bullshit. But what they have been telling us is, well, the bullshit they want us to believe. So let's take it for what it is, right? Their propaganda. And let's see if we can figure out where it leads, right? And that's why and how we got to the idea that prepping is the solution, that SHTF is their goal, and that they have plans for us that we may not agree with. So we've been told what? We've been told that, well, the Ukrainian troops are running out of arms, ammunition, so we need to send them money and guns and bombs and bullets and rockets and cannons. And we, the United States, and we, Europe, have been doing just that. Sending money and military weaponry to be consumed. Oh, wait. Or maybe not consumed, but taken and sold on the black market. But it's been taken. Now, we've heard what? Well, America's running out of stuff. That's right. We got a report a week and a half, 2 weeks ago that, well, we're running out of stuff in America. Right? That was a big deal. What do you mean we're running out? What do you mean the Pentagon? Why is the U.S. military getting low on stuff? And my response at that time was, well, then they'll just make more stuff. And of course, the military industrial contractors, Raytheon, Lockheed, General Dynamics, name a corporation, right? They'd be happy to make new stuff for lots of money. Well, then, we heard that Europe is running low on stuff. And Europe has had a pathetic military for a long time now. And when I say pathetic, I mean pathetic. Folks, look at Europe. When Turkey is the second largest military in NATO, which is a European, largely European military organization, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. When NATO, its two largest militaries are the United States, not even in Europe, and Turkey, not even really in Europe. Right? Turkey is certainly not a European nation. It's always been just a strange mix. Anyways, they're running out of stuff. Why is it Turkey has all kinds of stuff? Well, let us continue examining what is being said. Well, we're told that China has all kinds of stuff. And we're also told that, just yesterday, that Russia is running out of equipment. And they're having to buy equipment from North Korea. That was absolutely laughable. That Russia, which is a heavily industrialized nation, right, is running out of arms, and they're having to go to North Korea, a country the size of basically Rhode Island. I know it's bigger than Rhode Island. Okay, let's give it Vermont and New Hampshire. It's a tiny country, but somehow they can produce enough weaponry to supply the Russian military. Russia's got to be literally 200 or 300 times the size of North Korea, but they can't manage to produce enough weapons. It's funny, look back in history, folks. 100 years ago, the world fought World War I. They created ships, tanks, they started aviation planes, bombs, bullets, you name it. I get the sleepy dust out of my eyes. They had plenty back then in World War I, and the capacity, the capability to make all they wanted. And then came World War II, same story. After all the destruction of World War I, right? All of the rebuilding of European cities, towns, bridges, roads, highways, equipment, manufacturing facilities, they managed in 20 freaking years to be fighting World War II and have all the tanks and bombs and new airplanes and the started jets, and unbelievable. No problem. No problem. But now we're told, 80 years after that, well, we can't manage to make enough bombs and rockets and missiles and anything, right? Helicopters and planes to fight a war. So Russia is going to North Korea, right? And Europe is having to dig around in their basements to send all of their old crap over to Ukraine. And Ukraine, they can't do anything for themselves, apparently. Folks, this is a setup. We're being set up for an invasion. We're being told we don't have enough stuff, and we have a sissified military for the most part, right? While some are hardcore, red-blooded Americans who would love to kill commies, the rest of the military is commies. Bunch of panty-waist bitches at this point. Want to wear their lipstick and their stockings and run around and poke each other in the fanny and play monkey pucks, Twister. I'm not real happy with what they've done to our military. Folks, it's not the military. It's what the Democrats, have done to it. They're setting us up for a huge invasion. That is what I am seeing. So let's start with who would be invaded. Well, they've taken out the land military. It would seem that our Navy, which can't seem to, man a ship without something going wrong, would have to be in the South China Sea. The Navy, if China invades Taiwan, that would take our Navy, the German Navy, the Japanese Navy, and all the other navies down there to what? What are they going to do? Right? To blow the shit out of each other in the water? That would make us even more ripe for invasion. Folks, the BRICS nations, that is Russia, China, India, and the rest of the BRICS allies, essentially are 75% of the world's population, if not more. Literally, in Europe, if they're out of arms and ammunition, and they don't know how to make anything anymore, it seems that Europe, they could just walk right across it. China, India, any other country that wants to invade Europe. America, well, they got a problem here. It's called you and me. And we are armed. And China and the rest of the world has hated that and wanted to get rid of it for quite some time. And haven't been able to get rid of our Second Amendment or our desire, right, to be free. But it seems like invasion is coming. It's imminent. It's absolutely imminent. I mean, why else tell us? So let's go the reverse way. Why else tell us that, well, the United States is running low on ammunition and arms and armament because we've been supplying Ukraine? And Europe is out of stuff because they've been supplying Ukraine, and they've had a weak military for decades and decades. And Russia, we're supposed to believe Russia's running out. I mean, what are we going to fight with? Sticks and stones? Is that next? Instead of tanks, we'll have trebuchets and catapults. And I want you to think about this a little bit. We had Cerveza bug. Cerveza bug comes, and everyone is scared. So the government says, Ford, Chevrolet, you will make ventilators, right? Ventilators, to put people on ventilators, to force air into their lungs so that they can be saved. And Ford and Chevy, within weeks, if not just a week and a few days, we're making medical ventilating equipment. That's supposed to require a computer board, chips, everything special manufactured. They could do that. They could retool and make ventilators in a matter of days. Yeah, that was planned, by the way. They're going to pretend like they can tool up and make ventilators, technical hospital equipment that require parts, tubes, special motors, pumps. It has to be clean and sanitized, has to push fresh air that has to be 100% clean into people's lungs, right? They're going to make that, but they can't figure out how to make armament, a big clunky ass tank, a simple rifle and ammunition, but they can make ventilators. All right. Made that point, I think. Huge question. The question is really huge. Why are they doing this? For what purpose? Where does this lead? Does it lead us to believe, right, that we're going to have an invasion? Could it be that nations, Europe, America, Russia, are so broke they can't afford? Well, we know that they love to print money, and that's never a problem. So they can afford it. Apparently, they have the technology to make whatever they want at the drop of a hat. You know, broke or not and dead or not, they'll print all the money they need. So what's the purpose? Well, telling us we don't have the means to fight, and Europe doesn't have the means to fight. Sounds like a setup to me. Can't trust anything the mainstream media tells us, so it must be bullshit. What aren't they telling us? Man, I smell 1984. I smell continuous World War while we're kept in the dark, controlled with propaganda, lies, bullshit, and fear, where internationally we're told we have war when there's really none. While we're told nationally and internationally there's pandemic everywhere to keep people locked down, scared, and controlled while we have none. While we're told we don't have food or the means of food, right? While they do everything they can to kill our ability to make food, energy, fuel, gas, it's been plentiful for a long time. All of a sudden, we don't have the ability to do that, or the president just comes out and stops it. We're being set up, folks. It has hit the fan, and they're coming for us. Expect a lot more SHTF, folks, and maybe even an invasion. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. Semper Fi. Godspeed.